What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you're all having a great week so far. It's currently Thursday morning at 7:20 in the morning right now. Today's video is going to be talking about my rental properties, my best cash flowing rental properties, and then some changes to the rent that I did on two of my properties within the last 30 days here, because each of those properties has been 12 months since the last rent change. So let's talk about that, and we'll see where this video goes. I hope you guys are all having a great week so far. Damn. I'm gonna have to move myself here. All right, we're gonna do this. Here we go. So as you guys can see here, these are all 6 of the properties that I own. This one right here is personal home. This is in Gilbert, Arizona. I actually house hacked this one, so I'm actually negative cash flow, but it's because I'm personally living there. If I were to rent this house out, I'd be positive cash flow, but then I'd have to go rent a place somewhere else anyways. This is in order of my purchasing as well. The first house I ever bought was my GCU, Grand Canyon University student rental. The main purpose of this was to be a student rental. One thing that I learned from buying my first 2 properties is moving forward, I want to avoid properties that are as old as these 2. There's a lot more problems with them. These are both 1950s builds, so they're cast iron main lines. It's just a lot of issues with the plumbing, obviously electrical upgrades. A lot of the times when you buy them, though, they have been upgraded before because they are 70 years old, but they're just an older property compared to one where you can get I to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to purchase properties moving forward 1980s ish or newer, ideally 1990s or in the 2000s. My big exit strategy for these specific properties, my first 2 that I'm talking about, they are so close to Grand Canyon University. And if you guys are in the Arizona area, you guys know Grand Canyon University, at least in the last couple years, has been expanding like crazy. So an ideal exit strategy for my first 2 properties would be actually having Grand Canyon University buying me out. And they've been doing that. They were doing it really aggressively in 2015 to 2020 before COVID hit. They were buying these properties for almost double the value just because they can build on the land and expand their campus. So that would be really cool if eventually they buy me out for, even if it's just 1.5 times the price of what the house is actually worth. If not, I will likely just sit on these properties, rent them out, because they are great cash flowing properties. Rent ratio to purchase price is really good as well, which is why my cash flow is really solid on these properties. I recently raised rent on my first one. The rooms without a bathroom are $500 a room, and then the rooms with a bathroom are $545 a room. And the reason why there's only a $45 difference between the 2 is because the 2 girls that I have in that house that have their own bathrooms have actually been in this property for over a year. One of them has been in here since I bought the property. She's incredible, so I try to give her a discount on rent as best I can. So $545 for having a big room and her own ensuite is really good deal for them. My mortgage on this, I refinanced at a really good time at 3%, so $872 a month. And one thing I did wish I could have done is refinance my first 3 properties that I ever bought when those interest rates were sub 3. It would have been incredible, but I only refinanced this one. Utilities is $61 a month, so I'm paying their water and trash bill. My rent is $2,090, which is really good for this area. If this wasn't a student rental, I'd probably be getting about, for the condition of this house, about $1,500. So I'm getting almost 25% more value because it's rented per room, making my cash flow $1,157 a month. The next house was a student rental when I first bought it, and that was the purpose of it. I actually saw it on Zillow one day. I sent it to my agent at the time, and basically I was like, okay, well, my first rental property is down the street. It's 14 houses down. It's a 4-bedroom as well. I can probably rent this for the same amount. But then I ended up running into a lot of issues, a lot of internal issues with students. There was canceling leases, internal arguments between the tenants. It was a headache, like dealing with this, like getting phone calls in the middle of the night saying so-and-so did this. I'm like, this is not my problem. But I took the opportunity when all the leases were up, and I was like, okay, let's just convert this into a family rental. And it has been incredible since then. My cash flow on this is $989. I bought this property. This is my cheapest property I ever bought. It also came with a lot of problems as well. It's a 50s build. It has an unpermitted addition on it. It has a wall unit in there because there's no ducting into that AC. Since it was unpermitted and it wasn't structurally sound, there's occasionally leaks from when it floods from big rainstorms, and it kind of seeps through the bottom of the addition, which is just stuff that I wasn't aware of to look for, because this was 2020. I wasn't an agent. I didn't even live out in Arizona. So there's been problems with that, but $906 mortgage. I don't pay any utilities on this one. So $989 a month is really solid. My next house is the Gilbert House. This is the house that I eventually want to move into if my tenants eventually leave. But I did recently raise rent. This is going to be the first month coming up that they're going to charge me the new rent. And I raised it on them $300 to $2,375 a month. This is still under market value. I believe market value for this property is about $2,500 a month. But they're friends of mine and they've paid on time. There's been no problems. Like they do the landscaping on their own. If there's small miscellaneous problems, they'll either call a plumber out themselves and pay for it. So that's been really nice. I bought this for $1,395 a month mortgage at 4% interest. I wish I refinanced this property. That would have been sweet, but I just still wasn't educated enough at the time to be like, yes, this is a smoking deal. Refinance every single property you can. And no utilities paid on this. $980 a month will be my new cash flow. I was about $680 a month before that because I was charging them $2,075. Chandler Airbnb. So this is the highest cash flowing property. You guys, I talk about this a lot. I bought this for $358,000 last year. My mortgage on this $1,347, and there's no HOA. So the property above this has a $90 HOA, so that's why it's a little bit more in mortgage. And this has a lower interest rate as well at 3.125% with no points bought down. So I got this at a good time when interest rates were really low. My average, this surprised me, my average monthly bill for this property is $4,200. Now, what I did is I took the last 10 months of my Airbnb expenses and revenue and profit, and I just divided it. So this is the average because some months are much higher, some months are much lower. This is the only property that has fluctuations like that because it is a short-term rental. So everything you guys see in this category or column is based on the average since I launched my Airbnb in like February. $4,205 a month in expenses and utilities. I don't say utilities because I have a ton of miscellaneous expenses. My pool has been draining me money. It's been very difficult to actually come out with a profit these last couple months because of the amount of issues that I've had with like the pool and stuff like that. My utility bills are no more than $500 a month with Wi-Fi, electric, water, trash, all that kind of stuff. And my solar panel lease, which is another $100. So a lot of this miscellaneous a lot of this 4,200 actually comes from like one-off repairs, irrigation problems, stuff like that. And my actual average take-in from Airbnb or from my short-term rental, I have it on VRBO right now, $77,088. And my average cash flow since I launched has been $2,867. I think this will be a lot higher. One, because I haven't taken into consideration November, December of this year or January of this year as well at the beginning of the year. And those months will on average do much better than the summer months. So I think this will be a little bit higher if I actually took those into consideration. And then also if I can finally eventually fix everything wrong with this house, I can drop this monthly down to probably about $3,000 a month pretty consistently. So I can target it on both sides. I can make a little bit more, and then I can also cut my expenses a little bit more as well. So hopefully this specific property will get me to my goal, which is down here. And then I have my personal home. I bought this at the peak of the market, and so I'm actually negative on this right now. From a purchase standpoint, I'm not negative like losing money because I put a big down payment on it. But if I were to sell this right now, I would actually take a loss on it. House hack, that's basically me renting out a room. I had 2 roommates up until last month. One of my roommates moved out back to California, so now I'm sharing this 4-bedroom house with one other person. It's a 1,560 square foot house, so it's actually perfect for 2 people right now. He pays me. We basically split everything in half. We split utilities in half, and we split my mortgage in half. That's what we agreed on rather than getting another roommate. We each have 2 bedrooms now, so it works out well because he has his office, I have my office, he has his room, I have my room, and it works works out really well. So we split everything in half that way, and I'm actually negative $1,300 a month on this property. Essentially, I'm living for $1,300 a month after my rent, after my mortgage and utilities, which is pretty good. Utilities have been extremely high. I don't know if the insulation at this house is poor, if we just run the AC. Also, I charge my Tesla at night, so that's probably why utility bills are a little bit higher. I take that back, actually. So I'm paying a little bit more utilities now that I think about it. I take about $100 to $150 off a month of the electric bill because of my Tesla. So I apologize, I would change it, but I'm probably around $1,450 negative cash flow on this property. But I'm still taking in about $1,250 a month on my rent and utilities combined from my roommate there. And then the final house, I'm negative on this one as well. And this is also, I wouldn't say a regret, but it's definitely a missed opportunity cost. The amount of money I put into this house to the amount of cash flow that I'm getting is not worth it. Barely cash flowing $240 a month on this, but my initial investment, I think I'm invested about $115,000 to $120,000 of my own money tied up into this property. That return on your investment is not good. This is an appreciation play though, so I'm hopefully within the next 5 to 6 years it will have some good appreciation. I might, seeing how things are, I might pull some cash out depending on interest rates, do a little cash out refinance on that, recuperate some of my money that I have invested in that. But yeah, this is definitely could have used my money and made a little bit more money elsewhere for sure. Bought this for $465. My mortgage is $2,260 because my interest rates, this is when interest rates started creeping up. So I think I have a $525 on this one, which is my highest one. And then my rent is $2,500 a month. I don't pay any utilities, so my cash flow is $240. Total monthly on average because of the Airbnb has been about $6,233 a month, or about $75,000 a year that comes in from just strictly cash flow on my properties. Now my goal, this was a long-term goal a while ago when I was 25 before I actually bought any rental properties. My goal was to just eventually make $8,333 a month, which equates to $100,000 of passive income a year. But I now have this goal set to a specific time limit. Before I'm 30 years old, I want $8,333 a month. I'm turning 29 in the December, so a couple months from now. So it gives me about 14 months to figure this out, how I'm going to get an additional $2,100 a month in passive income. One option, the easier option, would be paying off one of these properties so I no longer have a mortgage on it. And the property that I would pay off would be my second property. It only has about $140,000 owed on it, but it would save me about $900 a month. Not save me, but it would make me an additional $900 a month if I were to pay this off. But once again, that comes down to opportunity cost. I like using leverage. Leverage allows me to make more money, but at the same time, I do not like to over leverage. So I don't think that is going to be the approach I take to get to this $8,333 a month, just because I can use that $140,000. I think I can make more money doing that. Another option would be getting another Airbnb or getting another rental property. I don't think a long-term rental would yield me that an additional $2,100 a month. I think getting another short-term rental would be a good option. Now, do I want another property? I've been very heavily invested in properties over the last year. I've bought 3 within the last year. And with the market shifting and everything like that, I don't know if that's what I want to do with my money. So there's a couple different options that I can get up there. I don't think just rent increase over the next 14 months will get me there. I can maybe get another $300, $400 out of it when I change rents next year, but it's not going to yield me that $2,100 a month. Another thing is, no, we're not even going to talk about it. That's a whole nother video. I was collecting interest in Voyager, but for those of you guys that know, Voyager went bankrupt. So a lot of money is tied up in Voyager right now as well, which I was collecting almost $1,000 a month in interest there as well. They were paying me $1,000 a month in interest, so that helped me get up to my passive income. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on getting me up to this $8,333 a month within the next 14 months here. I'm confident that I'll get there. It'll be interesting to see how I get there though. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, video suggestions, I'm a licensed real estate agent. I work with clients that are looking to do this exact thing here in Arizona. So if you guys are pre-qualified, ready to buy a property, ready to start getting some cash flow, we still can find deals in a market like this, even though interest rates are increasing. We can now get a lot more flexible with sellers. They're a lot easier to negotiate with now. So I love to work with you guys. Email me, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys soon.